everybody, to the first episode of ThisIsHowYouDad.com. We're geared towards giving fathers the tools and the support they need to become better fathers. And we got a good show lined up for y'all. So I can't do this by myself. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in the dads. Everybody say good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
All right. So we're going to start out here. So basically, we're going to introduce everybody and get everybody on the board and let you know what it is that we have for you. So we're going to start off with the person that I've known the longest, and I think that is going to be Malachi. So we are going to ask you, sir, to answer a few questions just so we can get everybody knowing who you are and what's going on with you. So let's start off with, what is your name?
King Malachi Sims.
King Malachi Sims. Is that what your mama called you?
Yep, that is. Sure is.
Okay, we're gonna let you make it. All right. Yeah. What do you do for a living?
I'm an accountant for the government.
You're an accountant for the government. Oh, so you the man?
Yes.
Oh, so that's what you mean when you walk around telling everybody I'm the man. They just don't know it.
they don't need to know. It's on an as is needed basis.
Okay. All right. How long have you been a dad?
8.5 years.
8.5 years. All right. So the next question is, what are the ages and the sexes of your children?
I have 2 boys. They are 8 and 3.
8 and 3. All right. So here's an interesting question. What TV dad do you see yourself as?
I would probably say Phil Banks.
Phil Banks?
Yeah, because I'm tough on the outside, but I'm soft on the inside.
Where?
I let my knucklehead nephew come live with me.
Okay. And I guess Waco is Philly. Okay.
Waco would be Philly, yeah. Well.
All right. Next up, we got Chip Juwan. Go ahead, introduce yourself, sir.
All right, so just to clear some things up, y'all just heard Jason call me by 2 names, so I'll explain that. My name is Juwan Cole, but my close friends and family call me Chip. That's my nickname, and you can tell when people met me in life based on what they call me. Obviously, Jason met me. He met me in high school. We met in high school, and everyone in high school called me Chip. So that's a little background on that.
That's right, Chip.
All right.
Yeah, Booker T. Washington crew.
All right. What do you do for a living?
I'm an engineer by training, and I am a director of projects for Williams, which is a natural gas company, and I oversee a team of project managers and engineers to make sure that our facilities operate safely and within compliance. In short, I tell my team we keep the company out of the news by making sure there are no incidents and that our facilities are safe.
Okay, so if I hear something about it, I mean, you done slipped up.
Hey, man, either that or they didn't tell me that was a problem that needed to be fixed.
I got you. Okay. Way to rebound. All right, how long have you been a dad?
I have been a dad a little over 17 years. I have 3 kids, which I'm rolling right into your next question. My oldest, I have 2 girls that they're both the oldest in the crew. Kaylin, who's 17, she turned 17 this summer, senior in high school. So she's gotten her first acceptance letter to college. So we're about to make that, get that first one out of the house.
Get it gone.
Really proud of her.
All right.
The second one is Alexandria. I'll round up because she has a birthday coming up. She's 14, will be 15, and she's a freshman at the Bakey High School. And then
double teenage girls. Ooh.
Yes. Thank God for COVID in some ways.
All right.
And then bringing up the rear is Gabriel, my son. He'll be 10 in a couple of months. And he's in the 4th grade.
All right. And what TV dad do you see yourself as?
So I polled my family on this because I had my impressions, but I wanted to see how they viewed me. And so when I first posed this question, my wife Lorraine mumbled something under her voice and laughed.
Uh-oh.
And I
She
said,
has no sense.
yeah, you know her. And I said, well, what did you say? She was like, nothing. And I said, no, tell me. She said, Hank Hill. And look, Lorraine, she doesn't hold back any punches. No hair. She is
So
very raw.
the next the next time I see her, so Ian, he was on Beavis and Butthead. He was the square that was messing with Beavis and Butthead, and then he got his own show where he
She
sells
did it.
propane accessories. So the next time I see Lorraine, I'm gonna call her Peggy under my breath and see
There
if
you
she
go.
gets it.
I appreciate it. And I said, well, what made you think of Hank Hill? She said, because you're a Texan and Hank Hill loves natural gas and you work for a natural gas. But
Say,
here's the
man.
thing, like it came right off. I mean, as soon as I asked the question, it came right off. But we had some more dialogue and some more deep thought, and where we landed, and I have to agree with her, was Bernie McCullough, which is Bernie Mac, but his character in the Bernie Mac show. And the reason why is because he is playful. He loves his family. He's tough on his kids,
Mm-hmm.
though he has that playful personality. And he yells a lot.
Bobby,
And
Bobby. I know now. I know which one you yelling. Gabe.
Man, all three. Kalen Alley Gabe. When I don't know who it is, I just go through it in order. And but even in that yelling, always trying to teach life lessons, and is not afraid to talk about the difficult topics.
I got you. All right, moving down the line, we got Ian. Why don't you introduce yourself, Ian?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Well, my name is Ian Jones. Wasn't born in Texas. Got here as quick as I could.
Yeah, we gonna call you gang banging on Canadian bacon. That's what we gonna call you.
All right, man.
It's funny because you came to Texas a year before we met in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So you were literally around the corner and up the street from me, but we had to travel 4 states and 1,000 miles before we met. All right.
And we ended up living right next door to each other.
Next door to each other, exactly. I had a big room, you had a tiny closet, but we won't talk about that. What do you do for a living?
For a living, I'm an internal auditor. So pretty much, I have a scary title, and people tend to tighten up every time I email and call them.
So you hear stuff pucker up when you walk in the room, huh?
I have literally heard that happen before.
Not because you're a black man, but because you're an auditor.
Yes.
Oh man.
I'm sure being black didn't help.
And you're not small. You're not like me. So okay. All right.
Oh man, you can't trust them.
So how long you been a dad?
I had to do some quick math on this. I've been a dad for 15 years.
I was about to say, I was wondering if you was gonna count Chelsea in there. I'm glad you did.
Of course. You
Okay.
feel long enough, you gotta count them.
You said what?
Long enough, you gotta count them.
Did Chelsea eat like that?
Yeah.
I know Landon has to out eat Chelsea.
At this point, yes, he will.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. What are the ages and sexes of your children?
Well, you just named them both. Chelsea is 24.
Ooh.
She is a junior at Sam Houston State University.
All right.
So one more year. One more year.
One more year and she's coming back home?
Hey, I think he's converted her room into the office.
No. They in a new house. She never had a room. She never had a room.
No. We have a couch. You can come by and spend an evening.
Hit the couch.
But at some point, you got to bump on back down 45 and head where you going. And then Landon, he just celebrated his 11th birthday.
Just made 11. Hey, did he know which gift was mine?
You know what? I don't know.
Okay, all right. I know you know which one it was.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right. All right, what TV dad do you see yourself as?
Well, I kind of took the chip route on this one because I have my idea, but then I polled the family.
Mm-hmm.
And what I thought they would say, they actually surprised me with their answer. What I thought they would say would be James Evans, because
Really?
This is why
Really?
I thought like they would say James Evans.
They make Jameses in Canada?
Hey man, first of all, I'm gonna address this in a moment. All right, but we got.
I thought all the men that came out of Canada were like snow, just informers. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
It was a banging song that year, by the way.
Yeah, that year.
Anyway, yeah. So I thought they'd say James Evans because I yell a lot. I sound over the top when I do it. And I think at this point, Landon isn't even taking it serious anymore. He just kind of like laughs it off.
Oh, Dad's just talking now.
It's because I haven't torn the behind in a good minute. And I think he thinks I've forgotten how to do it. But the TV dad they said that they think I'm more like is actually D.L. Hewley's character from the Hewleys. And I asked him, well, why him? And I was told by beautiful wife Camille that it's because
he's canceled.
No, not yet. I haven't gone that route just yet. I'm probably coming close to it, but I'm not there yet.
Oh, is it the fedoras?
No, not the fedora.
Okay, all right.
I picked up what you put down, though, by the way. You have to explain that later, too.
No. Go ahead.
But pretty much because he apparently says, whatever wild stuff is on his mind, and apparently that's what I do, and I think depending on the topic, Cam could take or leave that. So There we are, D.L. Hewley.
All right. Last but not least, we got Mr. Antoy. Antoy, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
All right. I'm Antoy Bell. Glad to be a part of This Is How You Dad.
AKA Better Call Saul. All right, what do you do for a living? Maybe folks understand what I just said.
All right, for a living, I am involved in human resources for a blue collar construction company with a background of being an attorney.
This is the man you call when you know you've done something and you need options. You need options. All right, how long have you been a dad?
I've been a dad for 14 years.
Ooh, okay.
14 years. Goes by fast.
14 years. What? Okay. I'll ask that question later. All right, what ages and sexes are your children?
So I got 3 strikes. Strike 14. Strike 2 is 11. And strike 3 is 7.
Why are you calling them strikes, man?
Oh, yeah. 3 girls and you're out.
So you done? You ain't trying for a 4?
I can't back. I'm done. Sit me down.
Three. So wait. If the girls are strikes, are the boys just foul? Boys are fouls?
That's exactly what. Now you following me.
Okay. All right. This should be interesting then. What TV dad do you see yourself as?
So I didn't ask my family like y'all did, but before this concept came up, they already told me. They sent a meme to me and showed me who I was, and it was a meme of T.I. going around turning off all. But I didn't let that ride though. I said, no, that's not good. I'm gonna who my own dad is. So I am Lester Jenkins. Y'all know Lester Jenkins from 227? Mm-hmm. I'm Lester Jenkins.
Yo.
So Lester had to keep Mary happy. He had to keep Calvin away from his strike. He had
Yo,
to fend off Sandra. That's the genius right here.
and he had to tell Pearl to mind her business. Yo, you took me 227 is where I became a Regina King fan, and Boondocks just sealed it. Just
Absolutely.
she can do no wrong. I totally forgot about this. This is one of my birthday gifts somebody got me, and I was supposed to set this right here.
Oh, that's dope.
That is dope. That is nice. That is nice.
My birthday.
Good job, Reese.
Get another one of those.
It is not a mouse pad. It is a placard. It is a sign. Let me. I got lights on me because I'm dark skinned.
Good job, Reese.
Yeah, Reese. You know what? We're talking about this. Let's go ahead and talk about this. But we'll talk about that in a second, actually. So you the 227 dad. All right. So I guess it's time for me to answer these questions myself. So my name is Jason Dorsey. By trade, I'm an IT consultant. So I do data, voice, security, graphics, basically all things computers and networking. How long have I been a dad? So this is very, very interesting for me because my oldest is 8. Sorry, my oldest biological is 8, but I have a 17-year-old. His mother, he never knew his father, so I'm the only man he's ever known. But prior to this, I've had 2 separate instances where there were women that came to stay in my house. They had children. They didn't have male role models, so I took on that fatherhood role. So I want to say the first time that happened was in 2001. And then the second time it happened was in 2007. So I've been a father off and on, fatherhood figure off and on for about 19 years. And consistently since 2011. So I got some mileage. And I will admit the first 2 trial periods, I made some huge mistakes, but I learned from those, and that's what makes me a better father to this day. And my kids don't know just how garbage I was before. So what are the ages and sexes of my children? So I have 3 fowls. I'm about to be out of there. So I have a 17-year-old boy, I have an 8-year-old boy, and I have in 2 weeks my youngest is going to turn 5, and all of them are completely different, and all of them drive me nuts and crazy in their own special way, and I love them all in their own special way. So I didn't ask nobody about what TV dad I was. I knew from the beginning when we came up with this question. Al Bundy. That's me. All I want to do is come home from work, sit down, put my hands in my pants, and watch TV. That's all I want to do. I'm happy. I am so happy. I'm simple. It don't take much. We can write a script every day. And on Friday, let's break the script. But on Saturday, I'm simple. Simple, peg. Leave me alone. Let me watch my TV. I'm good. So, all right. So those are the first 5 questions. So now we got some more open-ended questions that we need to answer, and this is for all of the groups. Guys, we're just trying to get y'all to know us a little bit. We got some other content coming out later, but we want y'all to have a feel for who we are as individuals, so that you can trust what we say. So here's the open-ended question, guys. What is your favorite thing about being a dad? Don't everybody answer it first, all at one time.
We got to think for a second to see what that is.
Yeah. I'll jump in. I I think my favorite part is when you're trying to get a lesson across to your kid and it just doesn't seem like it's getting through. And then you have that one moment where they show you that they have been listening the whole time. Uh, to me, that makes all the insanity that comes along with being a parent worth it.
Mm-hmm.
The sleepless nights, the empty pockets,
Mm.
uh, the high blood pressure pills.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
It's in that moment where you realize that it's worth it, and that what you've been doing um, is really having an impact on the development of that kid.
Mm. The favorite thing for me is like y'all know that I like to be involved in making other folks' experiences better. I like being the person that folks can call and say, "Hey Jay, what should I do? Hey man, I need help with this." I enjoy that folks um, know that I'm somebody that they can count on and
Must love
and
me a lot then.
and go to. Man, look, I feel like I should hand you half of my phone bill
Yeah,
because
yeah.
sometimes I feel you calling and I don't even need to answer the phone. I mean, look at the phone. I just say, "What's up? What's
Hey
up?"
man, they just quick questions, man. Just quick
No,
questions.
no. These are multi-$1,000 questions, and I got to be on my P's and Q's and I's and T's and all that stuff. So the thing that I like for me is when I hear people say things like that about my children. Hey, Elisha was a great student. Hey, Alexander was so much of a help. And I like the fact that they see me doing those types of things, and that's what they're doing. My sons are naturally inquisitive, and when they see me doing things, they say, hey dad, let me help you. Even if it's something with sparks flying and all types of dangerous stuff, they still want to help. Like my 4-year old knows what a tape measure is. He knows the difference between a flathead and a Phillips screwdriver. He has his own toolbox. So when I can't find my tape measure, I say, Nathaniel, go get your tape measure. He goes and gets it, unlocks it. I say, hey man, I need your head. This boy asked me for a headlamp. We were walking through Home Depot, and he said, Dad, I want this. He has his own headlamp.
Hey,
So,
we need to get in with Gabe because you just everything you said is
hey man,
T
hey man,
T.
I love it. I just posted a memory a little while ago. I was outside doing something in my truck with my tools, and this is when Alexander was small, and he grabbed my tape measure and he's like, I want to measure stuff. And so I taught him how to use a tape measure. I think he was 3.5, 4 years old. So I love passing that on. I came from handy people, and the house I grew up in was built in Fifth Ward. My family took it apart, moved it to Acres Homes, put it back together. So so that's the people I come from.
Right.
That actually explains a lot. Now I know that story.
Hey, I know we got to get on, but since we're on this thread for a second, when Gabe was probably about 4 years old, I went out in the garage to get some batteries to just replace some batteries in the remote. I keep all my batteries in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out there and there wasn't a battery to be found. I mean, all the way from a 9 volt, all AAA, AA, C and D, they were all gone. So I went straight to Gabe and I said, Gabe, where are my batteries? He was like, I don't know, Dad. I was like, Gabe, come on, man. Where are my batteries? He dropped his head and he says, okay. And so we walk outside to the garage and he had this red Mustang Power Wheels car. And he lifts the hood of the Mustang Power Wheels car and all the batteries are just shoved down in there around the main battery.
More power, give me more power.
He said, Dad, I was just trying to make my car go faster. And that's when I knew what I had on my hands. And I was like,
Hey
okay.
man, you got you a little engineer, man. You got you a little engineer. So, all right. So let's move on to the next question. What was the biggest misconception you had about being a dad? Mm.
I say that it was easy. All right. And when I say that, I
Wait,
don't mean.
you thought being a dad was easy?
Yeah, I know. I got to explain this answer. So I don't say that to like, to sound arrogant, at least not with regards to like being a dad.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't afraid of being a dad. It was more so about timing for me, right? Because I feel I had a really, really, really good example to follow. So I would do whenever my time was, I would be a good dad. But I became a dad when I got married. I inherited what was then a lovely 9-year-old.
No, she wasn't.
She gonna get you next time she sees you.
I
I
don't
was trying to
care.
figure out if saying she wasn't lovely or she wasn't nice.
She might run him over next time she sees him. But the dynamic is a little different. Like, when you come in and they've already kind of like, established themselves a little bit, right? They've already have like, a base. I mean, sure, they're 9, so the base is only but so much. But learning how to navigate, like, being and I don't like this term, but I guess the term fits in this case because I don't view it this way, but being a step parent as opposed to like, a biological parent, because I tried to father her the exact same way that I thought I would father my biological son, right? Because I didn't want to view like the whole, or Landon was years in the making at this point, so I'm not going to call him biological son, but my biological child, because I didn't know what I would have at the time.
Right.
But my biggest misconception was that it would just be a smooth, easy process. And I'm not saying this to say that it was like, rocky or hard. Like, I've heard stories. I could have had it so much worse. I had a very, very good daughter, but it is a little different from like, when I, like, from being there, like, on day one and like, getting to mold them from day one.
I think the biggest misconception that I had was like I was really sheltered from a lot of the decisions that my parents made. They didn't really discuss stuff in front of us. We just, when a decision was made, we just did it. And so my perspective was that when you become a parent, you got it all figured out already. You just you know all the answers. You got everything. There's no problems. You just, and that was an eye opener for me because like I know having a 16-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old is totally different than 3 years before and 3 years after. Nothing is the same. I mean, they're the same children, but they're not. They're growing, and they think that they're smarter than they were before. So therefore, that means they're smarter than you, and so that was the biggest thing. I just thought that by the time I became a parent, I would have it all figured out. I would know everything. It would just come to me. Wrong. Wrong. Um, um,
My biggest misconception. So I got 3 girls. If you look at their pictures at 6 months old, I can't tell any of them apart. They all like. And I said, do this one with the first one, repeat with the second one, and repeat with the third one. Not happening.
wow.
Nowhere close. All of them different. You got to do something different with all of them.
Right.
Ever would I have guessed that.
So is that personality or just the age difference?
Oh no, this is personality. This is personality wise, and and I don't know. I started the same way, but at some point,
well, of course, kids all start out the same way. We know.
You gotta start calling audibles. You gotta start calling. The way I look at it, man, is as a parent, you have to have that Batman utility belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got all different kinds of tools for different types of situations. And you're not necessarily going to pull out the same tool for each kid.
So for Gabe, you just use the belt.
Right.
Man, we're not gonna go there.
I don't need these tools.
Man, look, jujitsu moves,
Sleeper holes.
and prayer at the same time.
Please, Lord, don't let me break his neck. Please, Lord.
For me, my biggest misconception was all the little mundane things that you got to do as a dad. That I always assumed, I guess, based on how my dad was, that your mom did with you. Like I never thought I would, be giving baths and changing all these diapers and
they had to eat. You had to feed them. You never thought they had to eat.
Little stuff like that I had to feed them. Little
Hey
stuff.
man, Malachi makes
like
a mean beanie weenie, man.
I do.
Makes him
Killer grilled cheese, bomb corn dogs, all that, all that. So yeah, it's the all that little stuff. I never pictured myself doing. So
I think my biggest misconception, or maybe not misconception, but I'll say more like a blind spot, was the mental stress that being a parent causes. I think we all get to a moment where, well, I'm just worn out. Like I need a break. Like I'm worn out. And I remember the first time I kind of got to that point, and it was much earlier. I only had two girls at the time. They were very young, but I was leaving work and I was thinking about it. And then I thought about my mom. And I was like, man, this is what my mom went through every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled over into a parking lot and I called my mom and I just said, thank you. And here's the thing, I don't think, and I think my mom would agree with this, I wasn't a difficult child. I tried to do the right thing and make my parents proud. But even a good child can be stressful, right? But I think at that moment, it kind of hit me what it takes to be a parent, and not to be a mom or a dad, but to be a parent specifically. And I just called her and I was like, "Thank you." And she was like, "What is it? You okay?" She thought I was going crazy, right? And I was like, "No, Mama, I had this moment, and I just really, I'm a dad now, and I understand that regardless of how the Lord may be taking care of you and blessing you with the ability to take care of your family, it is definitely can get very stressful at times." And I just wanted you to know that I appreciate what you did for me, raising me and my sister. And I thought I understood then, and I was appreciative then, but I'm very much appreciative now.
Right.
That I'm in that seat.
Because you've been through it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I want to go back to something Malachi said. You doing all these mundane things with your kids. Like it recently hit me, I want to say within the past 2 years, that I'm sitting here like, I want to do my stuff, but I got to do stuff for my kids. But the stuff they want to do is boring. Oh my God, really? You want to do this? Why is it? But then I had to realize, like, for them, it's like, I'm doing this with dad. Yeah, I get to go. And so they're on cloud nine. And it is, I had to do a total shift because I'm sitting here like, when is this over? When can I do what I want to do? And I mean, and that is, I have to admit, that was a personal struggle for me about 2 years ago, having to come to terms with I'm being a downer for them because it's boring to me when I have to look at it from their eyes when 2 out of the 3 are shorter than me and they're literally looking up to me to have a good time, and I'm sitting here just mumbling through it and going through the motions to get it over with so I can get to doing what I want to do. And so that was a big that was a big misconception for me too, because I'm sitting here thinking I had fun with my dad. My dad's having fun with me. No, I was just as boring to him. He was, man. When is this little dude gonna go to sleep?
Right.
What can I put in his drink? Where's the NyQuil? All right. Next question. How has your relationship with your dad changed now that you are a dad?
I'll jump on this one first. I would say that it changed. I had an appreciation for my dad. I started to appreciate my dad, I guess, when I went away to college. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, first time you go off to college, I mean, it's pretty much where I met all of you guys. But you start talking to people and, like, you start to realize, okay, things you may have taken for granted back at your house were not necessarily the case over at somebody else's house. So I grew up with both my parents, like, in the house. Like, we weren't rich, we weren't poor, we had what we needed.
Mm-hmm.
But I always just viewed it as, okay, well, yes, I know not everybody has all the same stuff, but this is how it's supposed to be. And I got to college and started talking to people and realized, hey, some of these people, like, really don't like their dads, don't know.
Don't know their dads. Yeah.
Maybe don't know their dads, or had dads and the dads have been taken from them for various reasons, or who knows what, right? So I gained a better appreciation, I think, over my freshman year of college, just because I realized, okay, this is my dad. Like, I always thought he was strict when I was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I started to see why, and then I carry that forward. The reason I started all the way over there is I carry that forward now to, like, now that I'm a father. I think on some things, my family probably thinks I'm, like, the strictest, dullest, like, my God, he's, like, really harping on this type of thing. But I understand why. I understand why my dad harped on it. And I think, like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I see where this is going, which is why I want to instill this now. And so I have an appreciation for, like, the stuff he did, just because now I've got to deal with, like, kids with back chat and all that stuff, just like he, back in the day. So.
But Chelsea's grown now.
My dad.
What?
I'm absolutely pissed.
Why?
He didn't tell me. He had a boy. I tried 3 times. No. This is how you do it. The word.
Hey, man, I think y'all might need to get an unbiased third party and help y'all work through that.
No, but wait though. He had a boy that looked like his daughter's baby pictures. So if you're gonna tell the dirt, tell all the dirt. Put it all out there, man. Put it all out there. Wow. She bitch tell him. I had it's different. So let me ask Ian, because Ian is in this situation with me. Ian has stepchildren. There is, you love all your children, but there is a difference between the feeling you get when you inherit a child and when you go through a pregnancy and you have your own child. It's not that you love one more or different. It's just there's a different experience. So y'all know both of my parents are passed, but the audience doesn't know. So both of my parents are passed away from cancer. Mom in 2007, dad in 2014. So I became a father again permanently in 2011. So he was around for that, but I had already experienced, being a male role model constantly in my house. So I had that moment, Juwan, where I called my parents and told them thank you because I had children living with me and I understood. But it was just more solidified when Elisha came into the picture, and here's this little 7-year-old looking at me like, literally, he asked me one night, hey, can I call you dad? And I was like, my guard went up because I just was not ready we hadn't talked about any of that. And so my father was around when Elisha was young. And when my father was diagnosed with cancer, it was right after my Alexander was born. So Alexander was a baby when my dad passed away. And so I have now that I don't have what people tend to want to do, which is when your parents get older, take care of them. I have the drive to make sure that my children have the values that I learned from my parents instilled in them. So I mean, I love and appreciate everything that my parents, taught me. I appreciate the things that they shielded me from. Um, so it's just the only thing that I'm dealing with now is that as I become more and more successful, I do not have a way of directly paying them back. And so that's something that I'm dealing with now currently, because like the only thing I can do is, show respect to their siblings. My mother's mother is still living. Go and visit her and show her some love every now and then. So, um,
I think that's how you pay. That's how you pay them back. Because if you look at it, really, you can never really pay them back.
no, you can't
Like,
pay them back. But just like I think Juwan said this earlier, when he sees his kids doing stuff and it shows that they were listening, like I can't show my parents that I was listening. And so, like, I'm pretty sure people that see me and know my parents see, okay, yes, that's Randall Dorsey's son. I've literally had somebody a stranger, a cousin of mine that I didn't know, walk up to me in an Atlanta airport and say, "You're Randall Dorsey's son."
And I think that's where you're showing them, because I think as a
right.
parent, what you want is you want when your kids go out, they do what they're supposed to do and don't embarrass you, whether you hear about it or not. You just want them to go out there
Oh, I've
and
embarrassed myself in plenty of times in front of all of y'all. I know I
do what
have.
they're supposed to do. So
So,
I think the fact that you have people coming up acknowledging that the
well,
values that your
he
parents,
he just he just saw this.
right,
He saw this.
right. But
I,
in general, people see the other things,
yeah.
and I think your parents know that, and that is the way of paying them back, because the things that the type of person they were trying to raise, if you turn out to be that person, and everyone can see that
You know
and know
what?
the stock that you come from, then I think
I now that you mention it, I do see a lot of Lawrence in you. I do. I,
It's not on his head.
it's not on his
Not on
head.
here.
It's,
Not on here.
it's down here. So, all right. What is something you wish your dad had taught you but didn't?
I'll jump in on this one, and it's something. I'll say my dad had a conversation with me that I wish he would have had sooner. Um, my dad came to me. I forgot what we were doing, but he brought the subject of sex up.
Mm.
And he said, "Look, I don't know kind of where you are with that, but it's best if you wait
Mm.
until you're older, and because there's a lot that comes along with that type of activity."
How old
But
were you when he said that to you?
I was in high school.
Okay,
Later on in high school,
so dad was tripping. Dad was tripping.
and you know, and but my
since I knew
point
you in high school,
is,
I'm shut up.
I'm not gonna tell y'all when, but I'm just getting y'all got a 4-year range,
Mm.
and the thing is that conversation is not a conversation that is common, at
Mm.
least with our generation. I'm just going to speak for our generation and before
So,
us.
so your dad wasn't Lil Boosie.
It wasn't that little. But the whole point of it was I didn't expect to have another man tell me to hold off on that, right?
Mm.
Because mainstream America tells men to go get it and get it as much as you can and as often as you can and from however many you can,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what mainstream America teaches males to do. And for my dad to basically tell me to do the opposite.
So
Uh,
wait, so wait, so wait. I'm sorry. The question was something you wish your dad had taught you but didn't. So you wishing he had taught you to go out and
no. The thing is, he told me not to do that, right?
Okay.
And that I should value myself as a gift
Okay.
when it comes to that kind of activity. Now, I wish he would have just told me a little early, because I probably would have not made some mistakes that I made.
Right.
Okay, and that's my point. Is up until that point, I had been hearing the opposite message, but I
Mm.
think the message that he gave me is the correct one to teach boys, young men. And honestly, I think we would have better relationships when we're in our adolescence and teenagers and adulthood if we're taught that. We tell our girls not to do. We don't tell our boys not to do it, right?
Right. Right. Right.
And it should be the same message, and it's one of honestly responsibility, and self awareness and self protection as well. And if I could go back, if I could tell my dad, hey, let's go back in the past, I would tell him to tell me that a lot earlier. I'm
Mm.
not going to say that it
Before
would
it was too late. Mm.
before it was too late, so that I could
Mm.
at least be entering, when I started to enter that phase of my life, I would have a better perspective and a different lens to look at it through uh, before making those kinds of decisions. Does
Do
that
you
make
Gotcha.
think
sense?
you would have received it the same way earlier though, or do you think you say, "Man, he crazy. This is what all my friends are saying." And
No, I don't think I would, because here's the thing. My dad has a way, he always has had a way of talking to me to where I just understood what he was saying. He was like
Building the right hand.
completely the opposite. Completely the opposite, right? My dad never yelled at me. Um, I don't have a memory of my dad whooping me either.
Mm.
Um,
He beats you unconscious.
maybe maybe
that must be jujitsu headlock.
but we just had this way of communicating, right? Where it was just easy. Like he said, and it's not that I always, me and my dad always agree. It's just that he has a way of saying things where I'm receptive to hearing it.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that I do wish I would have gotten that lesson a little earlier. Um, and it's one that I definitely plan on passing on to my son um, when the time is right. Don't know what age that is, but when the time is right, is to make sure that he understands.
It's like, hey, son,
Yeah,
when you feel like taking
like,
your batteries and
man,
putting them in this engine, hold off.
make sure that's the right engine.
Make sure. Make sure, because that when them horses kick.
Right.
Right. Um, for me, my parents taught me sort of idealistic things, like do good things happen to you. Do bad things happen to you. It wasn't until I moved out of the house. Uh, I moved out of my parents' house junior year in high school. Um, and I was still kind of sheltered because I lived with my aunt. But then I started to see some things. But it wasn't until I left the protection of Houston and went to Atlanta where I started to really, really see that I was raised in an ideal situation, and my parents didn't know how to temper reality into our situation. So I thought that, hey, if you did something bad, if something bad happened to you, that means you did something to deserve it. And a Catholic viewpoint, if you will. Um, so it was a real struggle for me reconciling, hey, I'm doing the right things and good things aren't happening to me, or this bad thing happened to me and it's not matching up. So I wish my dad had sat me down and said, hey man, I know what we said. I know how we taught you how to act, but this is how it really works. And I probably wouldn't have believed him because I'm hard headed. I'm stubborn. I would have went out there and said, "Nah, Dad, you just making that up. You playing with me because you think was a jokes. You think I'm a jokester." My dad, crown king of it. So I just wish I had my eyes open before I was forced to be outside of their protection bubble. No family. All I had was uh, uh, Brandon's older
Us?
brother.
That's all you saying? All you had was us?
No. I'm talking because y'all were idiots just like I was at the same time. I'm talking about people like Alvin, people like Brandon's older brother James, folks that knew what was going on out there to be like, hold up, Jason, you about to do something stupid. Y'all remember I used to walk around campus with my cane twirling?
Yeah.
And Alvin was like, put that in your dorm. Don't take it out. So I mean, just stuff that I just did not understand. Um, now it's my turn now to start because I have a 17-year-old. He's only got one more year in the house, and so now it's time for me to start having those conversations with him about, hey man, um, it's some dangers out there. Let's get you ready for them. Boom, 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 boom. Um, So here's the last question that we have before we get into the other question. Oh, we're running really, really low on time. So I'm wondering if so we were supposed to go an hour, and here we got 7 minutes left, and we have one more question about us. Y'all want to stick around and do the question from the viewer, or
Absolutely.
you want to do that? What's the vote? We're gonna stick around and do that question.
Let's do it.
All right. Last question from us. If you could go back in time and give new dad you some advice, what would it be?
I'd say what I would tell new dad Ian is you're not going to get it right all the time. I have a hard time not being right on things. 9 times out of 10, I'd like to think I am, but I'm not always right. I can realize that. And so when you're not right all the time, you've got to be able to humble yourself enough to take that lesson and not beat yourself up over it. Kids don't come with instruction manuals. And I think you actually made a point when you were talking about what your biggest misconception was, about being a dad. And I originally said that my misconception was that it was easy. Again, I think I had a pretty good example to follow. So I figured, okay, if I just do like my dad did, things should be okay. As you get deeper into fatherhood, you start seeing situations where, you know what, I feel like I may have misstepped. I may have failed as a dad. I'm sure if I turn around and as dad, he can look back over his whole fatherhood career, and he's got some regrets about some things, like decisions he took, and the reaction from the family may not have been what he was expecting, or he doesn't think in retrospect it was the right decision. Same idea. They don't come with instruction manuals like Chip said. Not Chip, sorry, Antoy. Like Antoy said, your kids are all different. And so as a result of that, what worked for the first one may not necessarily work for the second one. And you just gonna have to give yourself enough grace to feel your way through it and figure it out.
Yeah, but before I answer, real quick, Ian, you didn't know Juwan in high school, so it's Juwan to you.
It's close enough, man. He said you get a 4-year window.
It's Juwan.
No.
So I would tell younger version, these 8 years, they gonna go by real fast. So It's go by in the blink of an eye. So enjoy all that time now. Try to cherish it because like that it's gonna be gone.
If I could go back in time, what I would say to myself would be, cut yourself some slack. Kind of what Ian was saying, because when I started my business, like I worked, I worked. I mean, there were times where I'm in Houston, living in the same house that my kids stay in, and I wouldn't see them for 2 or 3 days because I'm up out of the house before they wake up, and I'm getting home after their sleep. And it's because I was working, trying to get my business up and running and getting everything working, but I lost track of what I was doing it for. I was working on my business so that I could be home when I wanted to be, but I was never home. I was always working. And it was a conversation that I had with somebody that was like, everybody, and I'm not trying to get political, but I'm gonna use this name because it's a name that everybody knows. Everybody calls Donald Trump a success because he's rich. And I'm like, but he started off rich. Like, I don't know if y'all know how poor I started off. Like, I told y'all that my family disassembled a Fifth Ward house and made it a house in the fofo. That house had 4 doors in it. It had a front door, it had a back door, it had a door to the bathroom, and it had a door to my parents' room. My parents had 2 doorways to their bedroom, but only one of them had a door on it. So my whole house had 4 doors in it. My master bathroom has more doors in it than my entire house growing up. And so I have to let myself know that even though I'm not where I want to be, if I look at where I've come from, I am a success. And I'm not rich. I'm not poor. At any given time, my kids ask me for something. Yes, I can afford it, but I tell them no, just to keep them in practice of hearing it. so, uh, so that they will be successful and they will have something to rise up from when they get old, and they tell themselves yes more often than I do. So I just have to tell myself to relax and take my building as a success, because Antor, when me and you were living together in the dorm room, there was nights where I had McDonald's barbecue sauce for dinner. there was nights where I had a side from Miss Winters. There was nights where I said, "Hey man, let me get that last wing." So I mean,
Cheerios and peanut butter.
man, who had peanut butter? Not me. Now that I think about it, I should have bought the peanut butter instead of the Cheerios. But hey, man. All right.
You should have a whole segment on struggle meals from back in the day, like on another show.
Oh man, look. We can do that. We can definitely do that. But what I want to do is I want to get into this ad real quick, and we will be right back. One of the things that we're big on here at This Is How You Dad is giving back to the community. And one of the pillars of this community is the small business. So if you have a small business in the greater Houston area, or you have an online presence and you want free advertising, here's what you do. Send an email to business@ThisIsHowYouDad.com. Again, that's business@ThisIsHowYouDad.com. We'll come and check you out. And if what we see is what you say, we'll even create the ads for you for free, no charge. Again, that's business@ThisIsHowYouDad.com. Also, if you'd like to be a guest, if you're a father that has a unique story to tell, or if you have a different perspective based upon your lifestyle about fatherhood, send an email to guests@ThisIsHowYouDad.com. Again, that's guests@ThisIsHowYouDad.com. We also answer questions. So if you have a strange question, a unique situation, you don't want to really put your business out there, or you just have something on your chest you just want to get off, send an email to askthedads@ThisIsHowYouDad.com. Again, if you're a small business, business@ThisIsHowYouDad.com. If you have questions, askthedads@ThisIsHowYouDad.com. And if you want to be a guest, send an email to guests@ThisIsHowYouDad.com. All right, gentlemen, we come to the last thing that we're doing today, and that is answering a question that was sent in to askthedads@ThisIsHowYouDad.com. And here is the question. This comes from a single mother of 3 children. Her oldest is a boy, and she says, tips for a young man going on his first date. Tips.
Make sure you have enough money to pay.
Yes.
Check your bank account. Check your bank. Look,
And have a budget. Have a budget and stick to it.
You need to know if you can afford Gringos or Taco Bell. You need to know what it's gonna be. Don't and make sure you got enough money for the tip. Don't be.
Right. And I'll say be creative within your means. Okay, so if all you can afford is Taco Bell, it's probably not gonna like you taking a Taco Bell. So maybe you ought to do a little picnic.
Right.
A Taco Bell picnic. You know what? If your dad had given you that suggestion, I don't think he would have had to tell you to wait. I think the girls would have been like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna stay over here.
They don't know where the tacos came from. Just
whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
I'll say this: be yourself, and have a good time, because it's also, just as you may want to impress the young lady, you want to make sure that you can be yourself around her, and you don't have to put on a mask in order for her to be happy. Because what you'll find is, when you're wearing a mask, the other person might be happy, but you're not. And if both aren't happy, then that's okay. Time to move on and find the person you can be happy with. But it's better to be open and honest about who you are and how you like to have fun, so that you can find really a good match.
I think you need to put that like a little disclaimer in there. When you say putting on a mask, you're not talking about COVID related, protection.
No. The common term.
I got where he was going, but I'm just saying, nowadays people may misconstrue.
Right, you got yeah.
It's called a representative.
Here we go.
The representative.
Right. You want just as you want to impress them, you want to impress them with who you really are, and you want someone to love you for who you actually are, not who they want you to be.
Like you. First date. We just on first date. Like you.
You know where I'm going, man. Now. So when I really thought about this, my advice is gonna say, I really would like some context around the age range that we're talking about here, because I might tell them, look, just
18.
Okay, that's a good age. That's a good age, because I was gonna say, pass that date up and go keep working on yourself.
I mean, there's really no age where you shouldn't be, working on yourself. But yeah, 18 is the particular age of this individual.
So just curious, those here with older kids have, because y'all have older daughters, has someone tried to approach them for a date?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you, Ian. Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you, COVID has probably put up some very good barriers to that. Can't go around anybody. But I think it's very different for both of my daughters, because they're 2 different people. I have one that's an introvert and one that's an extrovert. And so I think with that, the experience has been different. And you layer in COVID on top of that, it adds a whole nother barrier to just be available for somebody to ask you to go out, right?
Right.
They they stopped going to face school in March of last year, early March. Uh, basically isolated, and now here we are, we're just returning, but it's under, we're still in the pandemic, and so you still, try to limit your interaction. They still can't move around as freely as they could before, so I think that's definitely um, put some walls up between them and those opportunities.
My advice to the young man would be knock, don't blow. You pull up to the house, get out of the car, you go to the front door, you knock on the door. How you doing this evening?
Because if you blow, you testing your equipment. You testing your equipment. That's all you doing.
That's it, because you're just going to be out there.
Yeah.
As a follow up to what Antoy said, once you get to their door, I'm always big. I've been trying to instill this in Landon. Look whoever answers the door. Look them in the eye when you talking to them. I found that some younger men just don't like to look you in the eye, don't acknowledge you when they come in the house.
But dude,
it was a no. My parents wouldn't let me do that.
You look like Suge Knight, man.
All right, I
You
might
can picture right behind him.
Yeah.
Hey.
You bad boys in these dudes, man. You walk up there, they think you got a Glock behind the door.
I might, but still,
you about to hang them over the balcony. That's what they thinking.
But however, I'm gonna respect you as a young man if you can look me in the eye as a young man and just acknowledge. All right, yes.
Man, he looking to see where your hands are. That's what he doing.
Hey, well, you know what? If you came and acknowledged me, I'm usually extending it to shake your hand.
Right.
I'm usually extending it to shake your hand. When I went out, I tried to look people in the eye. I tried to shake a hand. Now, granted, this was all pre-COVID times.
Right.
But
with a nice strong handshake.
Firm handshake.
Firm handshake.
Let me know you're there.
And also, just as a follow-up, if you want a second date, don't kiss and tell.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You might find yourself.
Wait. So they telling you?
Well, you know how it is, fellas, everyone's young, everyone's like, yeah, man, I went out with so-and-so, we did this, we did that. Half the time, everybody was lying, right? Half the time, you didn't get as far as you said you did, but you just had a story that tried to sound good, so you sound cool in front of your boy.
Hey, and not only that, but guess what? Everybody is not really the friend that you think they are. You might end up with some competition that you didn't expect.
Real talk, I got an uncle that married his wife after his brother said, hey, I met this chick and I'm interested. And I got 3 cousins from it. So,
there you have it.
So,
don't kiss and tell.
My point.
So, all the nonsense that I done to y'all, it ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. It ain't my fault.
Right. Hey, and just as you don't blow your horn when you show up, make sure the young lady gets in the house before you leave.
Yes. I'm gonna borrow something from a movie that I liked, Hitch. He said, "You already got her to agree to go out with you. It's your job not to mess it up." She already said yes. Just be cool. Go out, have fun. Don't try and be overly something that you're not. Like you're saying, don't send a representative. Be authentic. But you just don't be stupid. If this has been my problem, I like to joke, and I have just learned a filter has just started to grow within me, and Ian, undo that eyebrow, man. I saw that. So, just be genuine, be yourself.
And don't throw shoes at nobody. If
Oh.
joking.
Explain this story.
Oh, we will. Oh, we will. Not today. Maybe on Dad's After Dark, but not today. Dude, really? You gonna bring that up on the first episode?
Yeah, don't do that. You won't get a second date.
Don't. You will not. And she'll go with your boy. Oh, here's something. Brush your breath. Brush your breath. Take something with you where you can brush it or swish it, or while you're out and about, take them strips, take some gum, take something. If she offer you some gum, that means you didn't brush your breath enough. Take some more. Take some more. What else? What else?
Chivalry's not dead. Open the door. Open the car door.
It is not dead. No, it is not dead.
Open the door to the facility you're going to.
I don't know or haven't heard from a woman that they would look negatively upon you for showing chivalry. Because showing chivalry doesn't mean that you're making a distinction between male and female from a dominance type of perspective. It doesn't mean that you don't value them as an equal. I was raised like that, and I know some very strong women that would probably prefer to open the door themselves. Would probably.
Did they all go to Spelman?
No, they didn't. But that's a good one.
Cause
you don't do that. You know how these women we know.
Listen. I'm gonna say
I'm opening the door anyway.
Yeah, you can walk through the other one if you want to.
You can go through the other one if you want to. If you don't like it, that is your decision.
Come on, look. Y'all can't tell me. All of y'all know this. Before they took ADW and after they took ADW, it was a totally different person. You know it. You know it.
I have no comment.
You have
no comment, man.
No comment. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
I'll back you up, Jay. I know what you're talking about.
Exactly. So they can hate if they want to, but we speaking facsimiles over here. Facsimiles.
Yeah, you had to go to Clark for a little while and then come back later.
Or go to Moby and get lost.
Hey, here's the funny thing. Antoine talking all that noise and Tiava right on the other side of that
Get turned off, he won't get the business.
Waiting.
Look. The only reason she not saying nothing now because she won the election. She trying to wait. She's trying to wait till she gets sworn in.
Right.
Yo, let's. I gotta give Tiava congratulations on winning the election, man. I really enjoyed voting for somebody. I think this is the second time in my life, because when Malachi was on the ballot, the second time in my life that I voted for somebody that I knew, and something that just hit me after I voted for Tiava is like, there are thousands of people that always vote for somebody that they know. And I've only done it twice in my life. Again, not to get political. Go ahead, Chip. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, but with that, since we brought a name up, Antoine, if you could just let everyone know, our viewers know, what your wife's full accomplishment was.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate the congratulations. So my wife is judge-elect for the 339th District Court, Criminal District Court in Harris County. So January 1, she'll be getting sworn in as a judge here in Harris County, handling all felony cases for the next 4 years.
Awesome.
Yes, I was watching the Wire highlights where Omar got a free get out of jail free card. So I figured I should get at least 2 or 3 of them because he got all the way up to a small felony. I don't need that high. But
now, you know what? Is
some misdemeanors or something. I'm just letting it be known.
It's nice to know that maybe somebody else will get more calls from Malachi than me. So that'll be a relief. My phone bill will go down a little bit. What was the thing that I was gonna say? All right, we're 15 minutes over.
He was gonna say bye.
No, here was the question. Here's the question. Since we're talking about chivalry and more older practices, do you order for her?
Not on a first date. That's not a first date move.
But
Okay.
but okay. So what if this is a first date, but you've known her since y'all were kids, but this is y'all's first date?
No. Ask her what she would like.
Okay. 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 Seems
You
like
already put enough pressure on you. Why
I
add
mean,
more?
hey. She may not be in the mood for what you know is her favorite food that night. So just confirm.
Yeah. Take her to a place of a cuisine you know she loves.
Taco Bell.
That's impressive enough. Order her own food.
Get the genre right, right?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
With
Okay.
that being said, don't let her steal your food on the first day.
Man.
Wait a few days for that.
Man, you want to start a fight? Put your fork in my plate. I asked you, did you want fries? You said no. I asked you, did you want steak? You said no, I want the shrimp. So I got steak. Eat your shrimp. Eat your
Not on the first day. Don't let her do it on the first day.
any date. Any date. That's ring behavior. that, that, they always say put a ring on it. Well, wait till you get a ring before you start eating off my plate. All right, guys, it's time to wrap this up. Did y'all have anything else to add on this topic?
No, I think so.
All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do last call, and basically, last call is where you get to just for a minute say whatever you want to say, and it can be on topic, it can be off topic. You can make an announcement. You can say anything you want. Is we no judgment, just last call. So let's go ahead and Malachi, do you have anything to add to last call?
Yeah, being a father is a wonderful, fun, enlightening experience. Keep on shooting, whether you get strikes or fouls.
Really? He
Should
hey
let him go last.
he said it in last call, so there's nothing I can say about it. I can't rebut it. That's his message. Keep shooting blanks, pow pow. Let's do what you do. Really?
That was a mic drop.
All right, Chip, what you got?
Just keep showing up. I think 99% of being a dad is showing up. You're never going to get it 100% perfect, but just keep showing up. And really, lastly, I want to thank you guys. Um, uh, this has been a wonderful experience. I know this is our first show, and we had probably had a lot to get off our chest the first go round, which is why we went over. But I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to continue on this journey with you guys, sharing and learning from each and every one of you, and to our audience abroad. I know we'll have feedback coming through social media. We're really just a catalyst to have this conversation. I think it's good when men share their experiences with one another, and don't isolate themselves or put themselves in a situation where they feel like they're alone going through it by themselves. So thank you guys.
All right, Mr. Canadian Bacon, dirty boy.
All right. So, funny you should lead off with that. I guess my last call is my last call. I guess is just related to everything that's been going on lately, man. This has been a challenging 9 months for everybody. With COVID coming in, everyone having to abruptly change how they live in and all that stuff. like Chip said, some people may have felt isolated and all that stuff. So it's good to be able to have a community, I guess, to, unload with, be vulnerable with, help you get some things off your chest, just be a general sounding board, or in times of things being a little tough, have some people to go to and be a rock for you. So I want to shout out to my friends and family. I'll start off with you fellas. Jason, thank you very much for the brainchild that is This Is How You Dad. I think it's a great form. It's got a whole lot of potential. I'm looking forward to building with you on this. But this was your idea, so gotta acknowledge you on that one. Fellas, y'all know you're like brothers to me. Knowing you guys for years. Almost feel like we grew up together, right? Lived with half of y'all on this screen for a couple of years at a time. You guys have been more of a sounding board to me than you've known over the years. So thank you for that. And to my family, both here in Houston and extended Illinois, back in Toronto, you guys have definitely helped me hold it down over the last 9 months, helped keep me sane, helped be my sounding board on things, been my comfort when times have been tough. I thank you guys very, very much for that, more than you will know. And to my wonderful wife, Camille, thank you for putting up with me. I know I haven't been easy these last 9 months, but I thank you. We still here. We're in a good place. Thank you, baby love.
All right, and Antoy.
And Malachi, shut up.
my last call is spend some one-on-one time with your kids. They will enjoy it. Last night I got the opportunity to take my daughters out to dinner, just me and my daughters, and we had a good time. And I tried to impart some wisdom in them. And one of the things we talked about last night was it's okay to cry when you're hurt, but when you're done, wash your face, get up off the floor, because you don't belong there.
I like that. I
Well
like
said.
that.
Well said.
You
Yes, sir.
don't belong there. It's okay to be somewhere for a little bit, but know that you don't belong there. Okay.
Pass the bell.
Okay. All right. Okay. My last call is a question and then a statement. So I'm gonna pose a question to the dads here. How many of you all know someone that has molestation in their family? Okay. Here's the reality. And I'm not telling their business, but every last one of you, including myself, should have had their hands up, because whether you know it or not, Ian, you know somebody through me that has molestation in their family. And I'm saying this to just shine a light on how prevalent it is. And one of my desires for this show is to try and get resources to fathers so that they can know the signs, so that we can protect our kids. Notice I didn't just say daughters, because young boys get molested too. I think we need to learn the signs, and we are so geared up and keyed up on protecting our families from the outside that we totally ignore the people that we've let in and we treat as family. We think they're safe. Oh, that's just Uncle Bob. No, Uncle Bob is touching the kids. So that is my last call. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for this first episode. People that have been watching, I want to thank y'all too. We've got this first episode is going to be a one-off, because this was really geared towards you guys getting to know us as people. We're going to be playing some games. We're going to have some guests. This show, we kept it a little PG. We're going to have episodes that are Dads After Dark, where we just let we let loose and we talk about more adult things. We're each going to be having video series on us having conversations with our kids about things that we're experts in. Like I still tutor math and science. So I'm going to be helping dads that think they're not good in math understand, yes, I can help my child with their math and their science homework. So we've got a lot of stuff planned for you guys. Just bear with us. We're trying to get some content lined out for you. Go to ThisIsHowYouDad.com. The only thing that's up there right now is a link to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. This video is only going to be on Facebook for a short while. So if you want to see this again or point people to it, tell them to go to YouTube, go to ThisIsHowYouDad.com, sign up for the YouTube channel, or go to Facebook.com/ThisIsHowYouDad and subscribe and follow this page here. We're going to be posting a lot of funny short videos and things like that. And hopefully post-COVID, one of the things that I want to do is I want to have a dad town hall meeting. Malachi, I remember in high school when Farrakhan came to Houston, I went to that meeting, and it was nothing but men in the room talking about real stuff. It wasn't hatred. It wasn't politics. It wasn't anything negative. It was all about, hey, young man, I'm here to help you get better. And that's really what I want to do. I want to help. I want to create stronger families by creating stronger dads. So that's our time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. And this has been the first episode of This Is How You Dad.
We were recording our ad libs. Were we recording?